There are several. The first one is that in the last 15 years, the student population around the world has more than doubled, from 60 million to about 130 million students. And this is the proliferation, a lot of the developing nations around the world, the governments realized we have to educate our youth. That's our future. We just can't be the sweatshops and the warehouses for the developing world. So as this number has doubled, even though student ministry staff, churches with a student vision have increased, they're not keeping up with the increase of the number of students.
So there is this pressure towards upward mobility, especially in the context of the global economic recession. Most students are thinking about how to make ends meet in the future. And sometimes that competes with their interest in issues we are dealing with in IFES, bringing students to Christ and encouraging them to live a life of stewardship.
They are extremely busy. They are working quite often in Poland, so they are university students, but they have also their first job. They quite often they are doing the second degree, like second subject or new things which they like to study also.
There is so much of a disregard of God on campuses sometimes, and many students are pulled to that, and they find it very difficult to actually stick to their faith.
You know, Singapore is a very secular country, so the secularisms and also consumerisms among the students are very prevalent. So this is the biggest challenge for us, because the students tend to feel complacent with their lives, tend to forget, tend to be less spiritual. Means they don't really are not really interested in religious matters.
And if you don't have people who have very deep roots in Scripture, it's very hard for them to actually do the work of evangelizing.
Well, I think the biggest issue for Rome in Italy is the evangelical church is not only, who wants to say something? It's not only very small, but it's very divided. So that makes the context for student work very challenging.
Currently, our main issue is with staffing. We are understaffed at the moment. At the moment, myself and Yando Nimbo are on board, but we have also 4 regional staff that help us from time to time. So we're a bit understaffed at the moment.
So it's very compartmentalized. So they think the gospel is only the thing to do with their mind or with their spirit, but it has to do with all areas of life.
So for one hand, they are all the time in large group, but in the same moment they are very lonely. So they are like very such different opposite situations. So in these days, I think it's so important really to understand the language which they are using.
In some parts of Africa, Zimbabwe for instance, it's a challenge of economic recession. How do we survive as students in that context? Some other parts of the world, parts of Africa, students have resorted to prostitution to make ends meet. And in the midst of all this, we are seeking to bring students to Christ and challenge them that there is a better way to live.
We see the rapid flow in of churches which come in to start their own movements, which itself presents a problem to students who have to be loyal both to the CUs, the student ministry on campuses, and also to be loyal to their own churches. So in that way, they find it very difficult to follow both or to support both.
Students just want to do the minimum effort at university and then just have fun. So it's very difficult many times to get good conversations with them, talk about spiritual things with them, because many times they have not even thought about things like that.